did just remodel a bathroom. They're not giving you credit for extra things that you used while you enjoyed the home. Once you do hear, though, what they're willing to give you, then you can decide whether to move forward and close the deal. Like I said, they won't necessarily give you more money for your deck or your outdoor living space or for great appliances. They run that automatic program. It's an automated program that figures out the average price for homes in your area, and then they discount that price to come up with their offer price. Now, iBuyers will send a home inspector to your house. They want to verify the condition before they make a firm offer, so be prepared for that. Someone will come in to your home and look around. And don't be surprised that if after the home inspector does come in and look at your house, the iBuyer lowers the price that they said they'd give you. So if they say, well, I'll give you $500,000 based on a neighborhood that's selling for $700,000, and then they come back after their inspector and they say, oh, geez, it needs at least $125,000, so we're going to drop the price down to $375,000, $400,000. Well, especially if it's in bad shape, they may walk away if you don't take their offer and it doesn't work for you, and they won't give you anything, and then you're still stuck with your house. So the bottom line, if you need to move quickly, or you're selling an estate in another location, or you don't want the hassle of preparing your home, iBuying may be the answer. Another method of selling your home is to use an auction house that specializes in home sales through the bidding process. Many years ago, I worked for an auction company, and there was a lot of inventory and few buyers. And this cycle will repeat itself, especially when baby boomers get too old to take care of their homes, or they pass away and leave their children with the task of selling the family home. One of the ideas I think you should go on is logging on to auctioneers.org, auctioneers.org, which is the National Auctioneers Association website, to find an auctioneer in your state that will auction your home for you. And then when you come up on the site, you want to look under residential to find real estate auction companies that handle houses and properties, because these type of auctions were once thought to be distress related, but that's not so much the case anymore. And at an auction, especially if they do it on the front lawn of your house, bidders get into fights over who will bid the highest. And the opening bids are low enough to encourage people to participate. And the auction itself is over pretty quickly. You won't have a lot of time, if any, to see the interior, so the investor wants to do their homework beforehand. And the buyer will expect to close within 30 to 45 days on your house. All properties are sold as is. So if this sounds appealing to you, here's some things you should know about the auction process. First of all, you want to locate an auctioneer who specializes in the kind of home you have. Look for someone, obviously, who sells residential real estate. That may sound obvious, but there's hundreds of category types of auctions. And residential real estate can include a mega mansion, townhomes, condos, single-family homes. You don't want a company that only does foreclosures if you're in good standing financially. That auctioneer will be able to attract the type of buyer that's interested in the style of home that you need to sell. They maintain databases of potential buyers, and they market to those people. So if you have a mega mansion and it's, 1 to 3, 4, 5 million, you're not going to want to go with a company that only does condos, because the buyers for a condo are very different from somebody who wants a mega mansion. Second, after you find some auction companies that you think look possible, once you locate 1 or 2 or 3 companies that may be what you're looking for, you're going to want to ask a lot of questions. And some of those questions are, how many properties like mine have you sold? How will you market my home so it attracts the right kind of buyers? Many companies, as I said, have large databases of potential buyers so they can notify about an upcoming sale. Ask them about their credentials, obviously. Check beforehand with your state regulations to find out if an auctioneer has to have a real estate license and have they completed the training courses necessary to be an auctioneer. The National Auctioneers Association requires members to adhere to a code of ethics. And you can also check them out with Better Business Bureau or come on Yelp and see if there's anything. There may be reviews online about the experience that another seller had and using that same company. So ask the auction company to provide at least 3 references. You need to feel comfortable with the person who's going to stand out on your front lawn and auction off your house or a condo or a townhouse or whatever. Third thing you want to find out, ask them, how do you get paid? The seller can be charged anywhere from 6 to 10% of the sales price as their commission. Others may instead charge the buyer an auction premium, which is around 10%. So it's important to know what you as the seller will be charged, because that's going to affect how much money you walk away with. The fourth thing I want you to think about is, do you want an absolute auction or do you want an auction with a reserve? An absolute auction means that the highest bidder will own the home regardless of what the final bid is. If you insist on a reserve auction, the auctioneer will have to reach a certain bid price in order to sell the home. So you want to ask what the no sale fee is. In other words, if your house doesn't sell, you still have to pay something. How much is it? Because you have to pay the auctioneer for their time. And if you change your mind, that's going to cost them a sale that they could have made money. So they're going to charge you something for it. So if you don't have a mortgage, this may not be a big concern as having to pay off an existing loan. Believe it or not, absolute auctions get more excited in the bidding. If they set a reserve, seller has the option of no sale at all. Regardless, the buyer, through bidding, will tell you what they think the home is worth, and that's what they're willing to pay. The fifth thing is, ask how the company determines a bidder's financial ability to pay. The buyer should have a letter from their bank or a statement that certifies that they're creditworthy and have the money to complete the deal. On lower priced properties, an auctioneer may require a certified check to cover a percentage of the final sales price. And it's usually around 10% or so. If the bidder doesn't win, then the certified check is returned to them, but at least they had to show good faith in the process. The sixth thing you want to do is ask how the auction itself will be conducted. When I worked for the auction company I worked for, bidders gathered on the front lawn, but some auctioneers will accept sealed bids ahead of the sale, as well as internet and phone bids. I used to teach a class on buying at auction, and I would expect attendees to go to an auction in person to see how it's done before they actually put their own bid in on a property. Sometimes they'll be held on the courthouse steps if it's a foreclosure or a distress sale. So I think you can see, though, there's several options for you if you decide to sell and move to another location. I repeat, do your thinking while you can and you're not under a lot of stress. I've worked with clients who wait till there's an emergency to act. Lots of planning is involved, so let's get started. You can contact me by email at moveorimprovewithdebbie@gmail.com, or you can log on to my website, boomerhousingoptions.com. Let me know how I can help. Thanks for joining me. Tune in next time to learn about what's hot in this market. There's a lot going on right now.